हेलो। हाँ, आवाज मिल रही है? सर, सौरभ जी का नंबर दे बात करिए। आप आपका दिक्कत है। हेलो, अब आ रही? आ रही?
नहीं, थोड़ी दिखाइए नहीं।
हाँ?
दिख रहा है उधर, दिखाइए नहीं।
और सुनो, ऑडी 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 का वो जो दिखा रहा है ना, खाली सीट, वो मत दिखाओ, उसकी जगह अभी कोई आया नहीं है। वो स्क्रीन तब तक, फिर जब आ जाएंगे लोग। हाँ, हाँ। और नहीं, बंद ना करो वो। हेलो, कुछ दिखा दो अपना, वही पोडियम ही दिखा देते।
सब में वायर लगा रखा है। मेरे वायर है, लेकिन किस सिस्टम में लगा है? किस सिस्टम का?
वो अपने आप वो वैसे ही रहेगा यार, उसमें ज्यादा चेंज नहीं कर सकते दूसरे का, वो एक्चुअली। तो आप वो कैमरे का कुछ नहीं कर सकते ऐसा।
बड़ी
हाँ, बंद
हो गया।
हाँ।
दिक्कत
है ना। हेलो।
My greetings to the Honorable Minister of State with independent charge for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, fellow CSIR directors, Dr. Prabodh Trivedi, Dr. Ajit Sachne, Dr. Bhaskar Narayan, distinguished scientist, Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, directors of academic institutions in Lucknow, Dr. Alok Dhawan, Professor Deeman, partners from industry. I'll just give you the major names. Dr. Rakesh Banditur, Vice President, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hyderabad. And there were other partners who couldn't make it today because of flight cancellation. Well-wishers, supporters, of course, colleagues.
Makes me less guilty. Anyway.
Several colleagues from CDRI who came here, and our colleagues and students who are in the auditorium at CDRI watching as we hold this. It's really an honor and a privilege to have you with us today. And the fact that you chose and you committed to this interaction with us despite all odds really signifies your commitment to R&D, your interest in CSIR, and your fondness for CDRI. Very grateful to you for sharing your time with us. Dr. Jitendra Singh, of course, needs no introduction at all. Under his dynamic leadership, we are seeing the science and technology agenda of this country really flourish. Shining example is, of course, the Chandrayaan moon mission, which landed a spacecraft on the moon with great finesse and precision. Also, the delivery of millions of doses of COVID vaccines and the enormous expansion of the health infrastructure in this country are all to his credit. You have put India on the global innovation map. You have really supported an ecosystem of startups, which is really very, very creditable. Now we are 6,000 plus startups in the biotechnology pharma space. And in fact, the country's bioeconomy has witnessed significant growth from 8 billion in 2014 to 100 billion currently, which would not be possible without strong leadership of Dr. Jitendra Singh. One of the thrusts of the Honorable Minister has been to take science to the public. And this has been experienced by us firsthand during the 1 week, 1 lab program of the CSIR labs. And there are other programs of the government, such as the Inspire Manak, where the public at large is able to learn about the science and about research that's going on in this country. I think this is an important responsibility of scientists, which you have reminded us. Dr. Jitendra Singh is a physician by training. He's an accomplished diabetologist. And given his academic and professional interests, this engagement with all of us at CDRI is particularly meaningful. We cherish your guidance and support, sir, in our quest for new drugs, diagnostics, and process technology. ये दरवाजा बंद कर दे।
Meeting the
Santosh, would you please note this down? Next slide. Santosh, you have to handle the slide. Okay. I will take you through a very quick introduction of CDRI, followed by our basic research highlights, translational pipeline, and some community stories as well as future direction. CDRI was founded in 1951. Our mission is to discover and develop drugs, process technologies, and diagnostics. We have 3 main areas of work. Research, which includes both basic and translational. We are one of the few institutions in the country that have end-to-end capabilities in drug discovery. We partner for clinical development, but overall, we are able to do NC, research and development in CDRI. We offer varied R&D services. We have a very large laboratory animal facility, a sophisticated animal analytical instrument facility, and a GLP facility for safety toxicology and safety pharmacology for pharmaceuticals. We are NGCMA certified. We have a very large PhD program. We have short-term training, skill development program. All of this together is CDRI. We work in research areas which are of interest, which are of national relevance. So this includes a mix of infectious diseases as well as non-communicable diseases, given India's mixed health burden, which is now 60% non-communicable diseases. So we have the range from parasitic, microbial infections all the way to musculoskeletal health disorders and everything. CDRI's track record, we are perhaps the only academic institution in this country to take a drug to market, not once, but 13 times. We have developed diagnostics. We have developed and transferred more than 80 process technologies to the pharma industry. We have a very rich portfolio of publications and patents, a large number of PhDs who have graduated from our institution. Our best known drug is Tencroman, also known by brand names Saheli and Chaya. This is an oral contraceptive, went to market in 1991, and it is a once weekly oral drug that women have been, that we have, it has been in the market and being used safely for more than 2 decades. The other one is alpha beta artemether, which is an anti-malarial, and this is sold in more than 20 countries. Next slide. Our most recent successes have been in diversifying a little bit in research reagents. We have recently transferred a DNA dye called GreenR and a quencher, which is used in our RT-PCR reactions. Both were transferred to industry in 2023. The impact of our drugs, of course, is really on the basis of the number of users and the kind of and the number of units of drugs sold. Saheli, for example, Tencroman, it has currently more than 6 lakh women, and it's given free of cost through the National Family Planning Program. There are 350 lakh scripts that have been distributed through the ASHA workers. When you look at Dalbargia Shishu, which was transferred to industry, not only in India, but also then to an American company called Avita Bionics to develop it in according to the US botanical guidance. This has sold more than 22 lakh scripts. And so these are very large numbers. We also transferred technology of a standardized extract of spinach for osteoarthritis. And this has had more than 1 million users, and this won us also an Impact Award in 2023. We have a GLP test facility for pharmaceuticals. We have done more than 80 studies. While this number may look small, it's one of the only academic institutions in the country that has the ability to do safety pharmacology studies under GLP. And this, the number of studies done at the institute really reduce the cost of drug development for the institute and bring major cost savings, which matters in a publicly funded institution. We also have the common, this is the DSIR funded CRTDH, Common Research and Technology Development Hub, where we offer services to MSME in pharmaceutical development. We participate in a number of CSIR mission programs. We are the nodal lab for the pan-cancer mission, and we also are participating in the IND mission, where compounds from a number of different institutes, and several of them, the majority of them from CDRI, are being taken up to an IND filing to strengthen the pipeline of drugs. We would not be able to do the work that we do without partnerships and collaboration. I want to highlight some of the key collaborations we have. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. We have recently signed an agreement for synthesis and scale-up of a particular intermediate. We also have signed an agreement with Shravati AI, which is a startup where we're doing AI-based drug discovery for cancer. In terms of academic institutions, we have a very strong agreement with the Kasturba Medical College, which is part of Hon'ble, Academy of Higher Education, IIIT Delhi, NIPER Raebareli. We'll be recognizing the collaboration we have with CBMR. We'll be signing an MOU today with SGPI. And therefore, these are all our academic collaborators. And you'll be happy to know that we work closely with government agencies, with DRDO and Ayush in particular. We have taken on services. We are providing them services to test the safety of their compounds for various patients. Finally, I want to recognize our partners, international organizations, foundations. In particular, we have recently received a grant from $2.4 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for non-hormonal contraceptive target validation. We have an ongoing collaboration with Medicines for Malaria Venture, MMV, on malaria drug development, and they've been very good partners to us. DNDI, Drugs for Neglected Diseases Initiative. This is a Geneva-based organization, and we are collaborating with them to develop anti-dengue drugs. So I won't spend too much time on the basic research highlights, but just to say that our scientists we have 95 scientists approximately, and they're engaged in they're engaged in a lot of basic research as well as translational research. In 2023 so far, we're about at 186 and counting publications. Our average impact factor is 4.74. A number of our scientists have been recognized for their work. Dr. Ritu Trivedi, who's right here, she won the National Women Scientist Award for Excellence in Translational Research by DSP. Dr. Ravi Shankar is here. He won a Tata Innovation Fellowship from PT, and so many others. We won't have time to go into them, but that is, the work. Their work is being recognized. Some of the high impact factor publications that have come out this year in cancer, in metabolic diseases, in immunology, they're all listed here. In terms of the translational pipeline, you know that the development of drugs goes through a preclinical phase where you develop from hit to an optimized lead, go to a complete IND filing studies, then go into clinical development with permission from the regulator, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and upon completion of that and regulatory approval, we go to market. So the pipeline that we have right now of 6 drugs which are in clinical development, of which one is awaiting marketing authorization. This is a repurposed drug, umifenovir, which was developed during COVID time, transferred to industry, and industry has completed all of phase 3 trials. And since it has been developed for mild COVID, and what we're seeing now with the new variants and so on, we believe that the drug would be of great use. Picrolive, this is a phytopharmaceutical. This would be the first phytopharmaceutical if it were to complete and get approved. This is going into phase 3 for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and so on. So we have, and then other 3, we have NCs for fracture healing, and a combination of rifabutin and isoniazid, which we are developing for orally different places. So, for example, the Picrolive is a multicentric trial across India. 6 isopropyl, they're doing the trial developed at KP. So it's a mix of things. Depends on our industry partners. There are more exciting molecules which are coming up. And static equipment. Therapy.
But what are the kind of trials that are being conducted? The efficacy part or the comparative part?
First, phase 1, then a smaller chip, then a larger efficacy trial.
And also some comparison?
Yes, it will be a comparative. phase 3 trials, but we go into phase 2A.
So comparative both in terms of safety as well as efficacy.
Yeah.
Sometimes the efficacy may increase and safety reduces. There's a reciprocal relation.
So
It
first,
will be both ways.
because we have to also have it what we better than what we
Yeah.
the finish private drug unless it somehow different. That is all taken care of in phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials. Super like patients are all surprised to know that there is
Otherwise, also I think the intravenous way looking so
exactly,
far. Not even oral.
right. So for fungal keratitis,
Is it effective enough?
stay with it and really think that very aggressive. Are we happy with we are we aim for something larger? Well, in order to build up this pipeline, to create a new program that is a stage program. So, guys, people, I think people which
Thank you, thank you. I wish I had more time to spend. There's so much to learn from here. And I'm also missing the opportunity of visiting the institute because one of the premier institutes of CSIR. Because, yeah, sorry, I have to contend with that, which I could have seen sitting in Delhi also, but I thought I would have a real life experience. Nevertheless, I'll come back again. Actually, the incoming flight got delayed by 1 hour and the outgoing flight has got preponed by 2 hours. So they have taken away 3 hours by design so that I don't visit the institute. I was looking, but anyway, I'm glad Radha has given a resume. I think this is also one of the institutes which enjoys a special status because it's mandated to conduct research, trial, translational exercise in the medicinal drugs. And I've always been emphasizing that we need indigenous research for indigenous conditions. So Indian solutions for Indian problems, Indian treatment for Indian patient, Indian remedies for Indian diseases. And that's not simply for the sake of pride of being an Indian, which of course is quite often referred to these days. I think that's for the scientific reasons. We have quite different, our phenotype is different. Like for example, in the specialty that I have, we have had number of studies which evidently prove that type 2 diabetes patients or the person's vulnerability remain the same even if they went and settled abroad for 3 generations, regardless of the other environmental factors. So similarly, the second part is that our environmental conditions are different. And third is that we are so heterogeneous. We are not same in Tamil Nadu as we are in Lucknow. And the disease spectrum, as she was saying, has got mixed up, which of course happened over the last 20 years. Otherwise, the disease spectrum was also very variable. For example, we didn't have some of these non-communicable diseases so much prevalent in North. First ever department of diabetes mellitus was set up in Madras Medical College because it was not known in North. This was, I think, around 1979 or 80. And it was hardly known. I have a study which was actually also quoted by the WHO on the Kashmiri Pandit migrants from Kashmir Valley, some of whom had never heard of a disease called diabetes mellitus. But then, of course, and similarly in the West, we called them as a disease of civilized nations. So up to 1980 or so, we were struggling with communicable disease. But then, of course, the non-communicable also came in, and then possibly because of the universalization of globalization of the lifestyles and the other factors, now we have democratized the disease spectrum, so to say. It's not only here, it's worldwide now. Because I remember we had interns from UK coming over to AIMS for tropical disease postings because they didn't have tuberculosis and all those things over there. But after AIDS came in, suddenly they had to read books on tuberculosis and they would get books from India, Ahuja's books and other things. So now they have also had the same taste. So I think that's, but what is, I think, advantage from a point of view of a researcher is that we have every disease available with us. So depending on your interest. So the other day I had a group of this biotech interested researchers, and they asked me what is the kind of the area that we should look for to do some Indian studies. I said, you name the disease, I give you one, because we have everything. And that has been ever since, pre-independence times. The Donovan bodies were found where you live close to that place. Dr. Donovan, he came and lived in South India for many years to do, and then there's actually a plague there, which reads Donovan conducted his studies in this lab in the General Hospital, Madras. So I think now that kind of advantage is there, but that is advantage from a hindsight. Otherwise, but now of late we have actually made ourselves, our abilities proven to the rest of the world. The vaccine story is one of them, instead of the bio, because we were the first to come out with the DNA vaccine, and a country which is hardly known for even therapeutic healthcare. We were quite complacent or didn't give much priority. Was coming as emerged as a leader in protective healthcare. Now a host of series of vaccines coming in, and as you mentioned, the biotech startups and the health startups. So in fact, we are emerging as a very cost-effective health center across the world. Our Trivandrum Institute is producing cost-effective instruments. Our biomanufacturing, we are among the first 5. Our pharmaceutical export is also to a great extent, almost 50% to Africa. And most of all, I think there is an enabling milieu at the level of the policy planners and the political leadership. So in a milieu like this, I have been emphasizing, as I said, about this 1 week, 1 lab. So that's the idea is not only to showcase ourselves, but also to make the stakeholders realize what we have to offer them, so that they can avail of what we have, and B, to integrate. Sometimes it doesn't make me very flattered to see that even within CSIR, we have certain institutes doing very work which could get integrated. Like this lab has much in common with the lab where Ram was there, I think, the Triple IM, and also the Calcutta lab. What is so many, but we don't even integrate amongst ourselves. So I'm glad that in the last 2-3 years I started pushing that. I even insisted that we should have an academic collaboration in the sense that we should even get from his institute we can have postgraduates in pharmacology, postgraduates in medicine. Why can't they take up a co-guide from here? Because guide is to be taken from the parents' institute. In fact, we have started that. We have now, I think, 2 candidates in pharmacology in that institute which you left, which I only insisted. I spoke to the dean. So I think we could do that. I'm now trying that also for this brain institute that we have in Manesar. He told him, I said they have an MOU, but MOU is for the purpose of trials and other things. I said, why not academically also? Okay, good. Yeah, and you have KGMC, you have Sanjay Gandhi, so many within a small radius itself. But I'm glad you told me that you're already tying up. But within CSI, then with DBT, in the same ministry itself, you have so many institutes which could actually supplement each other's work and then extended collaboration with other institutions. Now I'm also talking of extra extended, which means you can even ally with IITs. With telemedicine coming in, with the artificial intelligence being used in the latest tools of telemedicine. So IIT Kanpur, for example, is excelling. So I think there's no end to that. And the mass engagement, as you mentioned, I think that's quite a heartening sign, because unless that not only gives recognition to the work that we are doing, but also gives them the opportunity to avail of it, to use it. And they are also the best messengers, because I have conducted thousands and thousands of health camps, at least in my specialty. At the end of the day, I started conducting camps with children. So say the disease of the elder age, and you are conducting children. I said, no, the children go back and tell their parents कि आज एक अंकल आए थे, उन्होंने मना किया है कोल्ड ड्रिंक नहीं पीनी, तो आप क्यों पी रहे? So the guilt sense that a parent gets from the child is more effective than all the sermonizing that happens. So we can use the social media means and all those things. Now we have jingles, infographics, and we have actually now set up a very institutionalized communication cell also in CSIR. And I've asked them to link up with all the institutions and have a monthly kind of interaction to get inputs, what is happening in which institute. And that has actually started showing results, because I thought I was being too harsh in pushing this part of it, but I felt vindicated when in Karodpati, they put a question on this when I came, soon after that, within 2, yeah, so they after I left that, immediately after that, they put up that question. So suddenly you became a worth crore. So, no, but so I felt vindicated that I was not, saying something unscientific. But at the same time, there was another lesson to learn. When I played that video thrice for my own learning, because I think I must learn something new every day. So he was asking the lady, where did you get to know this? Are you a scientist? She said, no. Are you from Lucknow? She said, no. Are you have any relation? She said, no. She said, where? She said, I think I read it somewhere. She said, where? Then she was thinking, she didn't know. She said, did you read in some newspaper? No, for years we have not read newspaper. We only see social media and mobile. So that was the point to be taken home for us, that the medium is now this, which is not what we have lived with. So I think and the private parties, because I am of a firm belief that this demarcation is very fake. It has to go away. And the industry linkage right from day one. Ask Dr. Reddy's, what do you want? And then we start the work. We don't initiate a drug and then we look for takers. And similarly, startups also. Our 2 success stories have been successful. The vaccine story, because there were already takers waiting for us. The second is that Aroma mission, because you are already linked up. He did quite a work with it. They are already linked up with the perfume and other industry. So when it became, because to sustain startups, you need a strong linkage. So that has to be, you make them equal stakeholder, make them invest also, no problem. If they are planning a compound, you do the trial. At least in the conferences, you do that. Don't you rent out a session to them. So, and it's become a norm. So nobody minds it also. Because it's a part of a larger collaboration among the teams. So I'm glad that you are into both academic initiatives as well as the communicative initiatives. And I think now also the focus on the young scientists and young brains is something that we could engage both. Now that we also have these schemes like Vaibhav and others in DST to attract the scientists who've gone abroad. Do you have to move? So I think that is one aspect that we would be focusing, all of us, and over here also. And that also enables us, like for example, the experience of space sector has been very rewarding. When we opened it up, it was not only financial. Now financially, we are very rich. In just 3 years, we have gone from 1 to 189 startups. But besides that, there was huge amount of knowledge pooling happening. Youngsters would come out with new ideas because maybe some of the out-of-box ideas are not also out-of-science ideas. But what is science? When other things end, science begins. Science ends, the other things begin. Like that Skyroot people, they had put up a rocket they put up a gadget on the top of the rocket. So when they were about to launch it, I asked Sona, what is it? He says, I'm also not sure. I said, we should find out what is it. Because so the boys told us that you make the cameraman sit here and watch the rocket going on. We have put a camera on the top of it. So I think this is both financial as well as knowledge pooling. For that, we need to have a great mix of all this. And I'm glad that you have a lady as a director, but I'm sure you're others also among there, or you're the only lady ruling over men. Not that. So that's good. Okay, at least in science we can. Okay, at least in science we are now having women in the leadership role. So I don't know why we still keep talking of encouraging women scientists. We should encourage ourselves to be led by them. It's the other way around. Even in space, Aditya's team head is Tejar, Chandrayaan, second team head is Kalpana. So when we talk like that, we talk out of guilt of not changing, getting over our past mindset. But I'm glad that there has a lot of ambitious plans. And I look forward to come back again to spend time in the campus. Thank you.
So if you could just have a minute more on behalf of all the staff and students of CDRI, we thank you so much for your kind address.
So kind of. In fact, I had to apologize to all the students because, please explain to them, I couldn't fight the time constraint that has happened because beyond my.
So just a humble token of our gratitude to you. Thank you so much, sir. Once more.
Ram is a big fan of Ramnath Chopra, so this already has a good linkage with Ramnath Chopra.
The coffee table book first.
Shake hands.
Thank you for it. Yeah, that MOU or this is
No, you just signed in this package. Want to recognize our industry partner? Please. Have a collaboration about it. Process. Yeah.